Hello guys, my name is Cody, also Pop Channel Basin. Today I'm going to show you guys sort of how to change the oil in a 2004 Honda Ranger 4-wheeler 350. What you're going to need is the oil filter, some oil, it's 10W40. It takes 2.1 quarts, I think that's what online said, but I just got a 5 quart because it was cheap. You're going to need a 8mm socket to take off the oil filter cover, and you're going to need a 17mm to take out the oil drain bolt. So let's get started. What you got to do first is, see this little plug down there? You just take these, just plug on this side, it's just where you put the oil in. Put that over there on the seat, and then take out the, you can just let it sit in there, just so the oil will come out easier. And you can use rags or whatever you want to use to like wipe your hands off. And probably you're gonna need a funnel. There's a funnel over there on the shelf. I'll get it in a little bit. But the oil drain bolt. Oh yeah, and you're gonna need a catch pan. The oil drain bolt is. See if I can get it on the camera. It is right there. It's up in that bigger hole. I think I have it loosened up so I can just, yep, make sure that's over it. Here comes the oil. I'll let this drain out and then I'll show you guys changing out the oil filter. Alright guys, the oil is draining as we speak. The oil filter is right by where the dipstick is. And just gotta loosen up these bolts there. It can be super tight. These ones are kind of snug. It's always the last one that's tough on everything. There you go. And I have the drain pan just under it, just in case it wants to leak, which is probably gonna be a little bit of oil leaking out of it. Take the screws out, don't lose them. They're hard to get like this. You can just use your ratchet. Just unscrew them easy. Yep, I can already see oil starting to drip. Just make sure that's under it just enough. I think you guys can see it's kind of a glare on my screen because the sun's right behind me. But there's that. Take this off kind of slow, as slow as you can. Look at all that oil coming out of there. Put this down there, get off as much oil as I can. I'll put the old filter in that little lid till I can, well, I'll just throw it in my drain pan. I think it'll be a better idea. Throw it up in the drain pan. And grab a little towel or something and kind of clean out some of the old oil as you can. There's a little spring in there, so make sure it's still in the right spot. Get out as much dirt as I can. There's still some oil kind of coming out of the engine a little bit, so I'll let that kind of drip out. Make sure I'm not making a big mess. Nope, just a couple drips. Let it all come out as much as it can. New filter. A good thing to do is, there's a little O-ring on it. Take some new oil and seal it. trying to remember which way it goes in. Outside. Yep, it already has it marked. So like stick your finger in the oil, get a little bit, put it on that little O-ring, lube it up nice and good. See if you guys can get a good shot at that. Lube it up nice and good. Stick her back in. So it's like spring loaded, so. Then you can see this. You want to clean off that outside O-ring best you can. Clean out the inside. See if I can do that one-handed. The filter should catch any little stuff that could harm the engine, hopefully. So make sure it's all cleaned out. Dip your finger back in the oil. And I'm going to go around the outside with a little bit of oil. Seal her up nice and good. And we are ready. Make sure there's a little indentation on the cover. Want to make sure that goes right inside that little rubber. And then pop the cover on best you can. Spring loaded, so you have to, might take two hands. So I'm going to hold it right quick with my hand and start a little bolt up in there. There we go. Just hold it mostly. Make sure it's still in the hole and it'll line up fine. Yep, it will. Start my other ones. Don't want to cross thread them. Make sure they go in there smooth. Don't let your trash fly away. I'll clean everything up at the end. And then move this oil jug out of my way. Hand tighten them. Always what you do whenever you change oil on something is you check the oil regularly after you change the oil, because most of the time you don't put oil where the filter is. And in cars, they will keep oil in as soon as the engine sucks some in. So you might be like a half quart low like a week later. You should check your oil regularly anyway, but just always after an oil change you should check it, because you can get super low. Make sure it goes in there nice, make sure it doesn't get stuck anywhere, make sure it goes flush. And then, where have I placed my ratchet at? Oh, it's right there in front of me. Duh. And now we can snug them down. Not too tight, you don't want to break the bolts off. Just enough to where they're not gonna break loose riding in the woods. Just snug. Make sure you don't round the bolts off. That would be very bad. The sun's super glary on this side, so the camera really sucks. Nice and snug. I'll probably put in about 1.5 quarts to start out with, because it claims like 2.5, but sometimes the internet's wrong. But I still gotta put the drain plug back in after I clean off this dipstick. Put that up on the seat. Turn off any oil I can get to. Most of it will get burned off, but you don't have a risk of a fire. Just try to clean off as much as you can. Get in little grooves as much as you can. Try to clean everything off, but there's a lot of places you can't get to. It's okay. You can see under there I can't get to some of that, but it's good enough. sure I put the lid back on the oil so it doesn't go flying everywhere. And let's put the oil drain plug back in if it's done dripping. Still dripping just a tiny bit. I might let it sit just a little bit longer, and I'll bring you guys back as soon as it gets done dripping. Alright guys, we're ready to put the drain plug back in, drain bolt. Let it drip out a little bit. There's still just tiny bits coming out, but it's good enough. There's a little skid plate, so it's kind of hard to start it. But you want to make sure you get it on there nice and straight. Still haven't got it started yet. Where's the hole at? There we go. Finger tighten it for a minute. Grab my towel. I'm all oily. Oops. And then just tighten the bolt down snug. There's a little crush washer you can replace on top of the bolt. I should have said that before I put it on, but you can replace it. Mine's been replaced, the last oil change, so it should be good. But now we can start filling her up. I can't record and fill up oil at the same time, so I'll put in about 1.5 quarts. I'll check it, I'll keep checking it until I get to the full line, and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, it is filled up. I'm just now putting the drain plug back in. And remember, like what I said, you gotta check it for probably about a good week. Like, check it out every time you ride it. If the engine's been cool, because whenever it's warm, the oil's not gonna be where it should be. So, you look on the line, don't know if you can see it. It's on the line. It's super fuzzy. Focus. On the line, that's filled up, and that's about it for changing your oil on a 2004 Honda Rancher. Lots of old oil. I'll use it. But anyway, this will be the end of this video. Like, comment, subscribe. The sun is really like messing with the camera. This will be this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.